Nissan Deneta here with session number 28 in the Implementation Ninja series. And as you can see, we're still in the hotel in New York, a little bit working, a little bit noise, just ignore that, because we're going to talk today about creating high-value presentations, which in a way, this is what it is. Right now, this is what we're doing. Hopefully, it's a high-value presentation for you. Of course, what I'm going to talk right now in this session will be about creating and delivering a high-value presentation to other people. So not just to the camera people or to you as watching it as a video, but to more people that are live in the room. And I want to explain a little bit about the value of it, give you some tips how to do that better, or how to do that in a way that will deliver for you and for them the most value. So that's the plan for today. A few things to know, it's more of a mindset about it, and then I will go more into details about high-value presentation. Many speakers or many entrepreneurs make a mistake and make their presentation, let's put it this way, instead of high-value presentation, they make it into a glorified sales pitch. So they take 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour, whatever they have in front of their audience, and it's basically from the beginning to the end is who I am and what I can do for you and where can you contact me and how can I benefit you? So that's kind of a glorified sales pitch. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying that shouldn't be a sales pitch. I'm just saying that it cannot be the majority or the main part of a presentation. That's the first one. The second one is you want to give your audience something of value. Almost every speaker that I know, every public speaker, people that knows how to speak, people that do it for a living, people that do it as a profession for years, don't understand its principle. They will come into a new group that they don't know, and they will start talking about theories and about the newest invention and the new stuff in the market or in the field of expertise and everything. And the people go home without anything that they can actually do to change their life for the better. That's the only thing that I call at least value. People want to go home or wherever it is that they're going after your presentation with something that they can actually implement, do, and see any kind of result, any kind of an improvement. That's what delivers value, not your ideas, not your breakthrough philosophy, not news about the market. I'm not saying that they cannot be, but this is what the problem is that with most speakers, that this is what they focus on. Instead of the basic stuff, tell me what I can do in order to make my relationship a little bit better tonight. Tell me what to do in order to improve a little bit the quality of traffic that I get to my website. Tell me one thing that I can do in order to, improve my health in the next couple of days. Whatever it is, this is what people are looking for, and this is what needs to be the center of your high-value presentation if you want it to be high-value. So that's the second thing. The third one, make sure that you consider your audience needs and wants. Many of us are coming to an audience without even knowing who they are and what they want and what they need, and we just give them our spiel. We know that it worked once, so we just keep on giving it, time after time after time. My suggestion is always make sure that you know your target audience, understand them as much as you can. And sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes you need to, even come earlier to your presentation and just talk to a few people in the audience and ask a few questions, see if you can understand something. Sometimes you need to do bigger research or to ask some people. But the point is that you want to tailor. You don't have to change your whole presentation, but you want to tailor it to the wants and needs of your audience. I'll give you some examples for that in a minute. I'm giving you just right now a big picture, huh? It's not the details, big picture. Where do you start if you never gave presentations before? Where do you start? I mean, today I have rooms full of people that are waiting for me to present, to talk to them. But it didn't start this way. So where do you start? So the easiest place that I found, at least, to start are, what we call service organizations. Like in my case, would be Rotary, for example, Rotary clubs or Lions clubs. Or here in Holland, the Korean clubs. But it can be different. So, it can be networking events or networking gatherings. It may be conferences of your area of expertise, of your field. But really, the service clubs are the easiest way to start. Most of the time, the system works that they have a meeting once every 2 weeks or once a month. And for years, the same members, the same group of 15 or 20 or 25 people are meeting every couple of weeks. And every time needs to be a presentation. Must do. That's part of their evening together. So it needs to be 45 minutes or an hour, some kind of presentation. And the head of the chapter or the club, the local club, it's his or her responsibility to find a speaker. And they probably ran out of the idea 20 years ago. from people that could speak, because they cannot find them anymore. So if you can come to a head of a chapter, for example, of Rotary or Lions Club, and you tell them, listen, I have this great topic which I think will be very beneficial for you people, and all I need is about 45 minutes to talk about it. Usually they will just, they will kiss your feet, just thanking you for, being able to present something. You're not going to get paid for that, which is perfect. That's not the purpose of that. Okay? At the end, you're going to get a bottle of wine or a pen or a tie, sometimes you get, as a thank you, but that's pretty much it. But you meet 50, 20, or 25 people that might be in your target audience or in the network of your target audience. So this is where I would start, where I did start, and where I would suggest you to start if you have no platform or no stage of your own at the moment right now. You can also spread it out to your contacts over LinkedIn, over social media, over even your mailing list, and just tell them, listen, I have this great new presentation, it's 45 minutes, about the 5 ways to avoid something, or the 7 things you need to know about whatever. We talked about those ideas before when we talked about the PDF report and other things. And you tell them, I have this great presentation about it. It takes 45 minutes. Do you know any organizations or network clubs or a service club that might be interesting in that? And let them help you get in the door. Remember, you're not charging money for this presentation, and you're an expert in that field. So it's a double benefit for any organization that is looking for speakers. So this is a little bit on the big picture. We're teaching a lot more than that in a course that is take 3 days. It's called the Master Presenter, and it's an advanced course. We only offer it to people that did the Master Entrepreneur like you, and it's a training where we're teaching actually how do we present, how do we create a high value presentation, etc. So if you really want more to become very strong as a presenter, that's a good place to do. But I want to give you some information now, some insights, and some assignments so you can start with that, because at the end you need to start. And I didn't start by following a Master Presenter course. Don't tell anybody, but you need to start by trying it out, boring everybody to death, and slowly getting better in that. Okay, it's just practice, practice, practice. All right. Let me give you an example of a student of us that's many years ago. Can't remember his name right now, but he had a hardware store, something like a Praxis, but very small. Local store that sells nails and screws and tools, and it's a hardware store. And he heard the principle of giving high value presentation, and he thought, hey, it's a good idea. So he used to put a 1-inch, what is called a 1-inch ad in the local papers, saying that there is a lecture over, I think it was over coffee, for about 40 minutes in one of the local cafes in his area, because those shops are local. And what he did, he created 2 presentations about safety at home. 2 presentations. I think that each presentation was about 20-30 minutes, and then he left some space for questions and answers. So one of them, but he was doing exactly what I'm sharing with you right now. He was targeting his audience very carefully and tailored the message for them. So he created one presentation for parents to small kids, to kids of 1 to 3 years old that are keep on falling and, dropping down the stairs and might be hurt from sharp edges, etc. And he created for them a presentation about safety at home, talking about how to make sharp edges round and safe for kids, how to make stairs kids-proof, how to make the cupboards safe-proof, kids-proof, etc. So he created that, and he advertised it for parents. So basically, the small, tiny advertisement says, hey, parents for young kids, your house is not safe. I'm inventing it right now. I don't know exactly what he wrote there, but something like that. Your house is not safe. Come and learn in half an hour over coffee how to make your house kids-proof, so you'll never have an accident, or something like that. And he would have every time 12, 15, maybe 20 parents that would come to listen to his lecture. He did the same thing for a different target audience, and that was this time for people that had elderly parents. And elderly parents also tend to have some accidents at home, especially in the bathroom and in the kitchen. And when an elderly person falls, many times they break a hip, and this is actually one of the main reasons or main causes of death at the end, or shortening a lifespan for elderly people, is because they break their hips or other parts of their body. So he made the same thing. He made a 20-30 minute presentation plus Q&A at the end, which explains them how to make the bathrooms of their parents safer, in the kitchen, and other stuff. He would pay for the coffee and tea, and probably a piece of cake, so it would cost him a couple of €100 to do that. But he would get usually 10, 12, 15, 20 people maybe to listen to that. And at the end, the only thing he didn't make a sales pitch out of it. The only thing he says, listen, if you need anything to make your house more safe, here's my card. My shop is 200 meters down the road. Come and see me. And nobody on the spot bought something from him. But those people remembered him as the expert about safety at home. And whenever, they might not buy anything for a year until the kid fell down the stairs. And then the first person they would go is to him. And he built up his business as a result of that. That was one of his major marketing strategies that brought him the most new clients. So this is just an example how this thing can work for you. All right, so here's one thing that you should know. It's not just about high value presentation. It's about every content that you're actually spreading out. But I want to mention it here. There is a correlation between how much good content you put out there to how much business you're going to get as a result of that. That's my experience, and it's the experience of so many experts through the years. Okay, the more free, valuable content that you put out there in the market, the more your business will grow. Okay, I think that one of the reasons why we became so successful so fast is mainly because of the amount and value, of course, but of the content that we sent out into the market for free. And high value presentation have a high value, high perceived value compared to, I think, any other type of content. It's more valuable for people in their mind, at least, than an article in a newsletter or an article in a blog or an article in a magazine. It's more valuable in their eyes than a video segment. When they see the expert live, when they can ask questions, etc. So this is something to consider. If you're having aversion to standing in front of people, and it terrifies you, it gets you stressed, and you don't sleep for a week just because of thinking about it, then you have two choices. Either you want to get over it, or you just say, well, presentation is not for me, and that's totally fine. You don't have to. But if you're willing to get over it, or if you're okay doing it, then I should really recommend you to consider that as a major, major part of your marketing activities, especially for the free content that you can deliver. So what I want you to figure out during today, when I'm going to finish my presentation, it will be your turn to think and to do something, is to figure out what type of content can you share in a presentation. So what questions can you answer? What advice can you give? What topics can you describe or explain in a presentation? So we're not going to take the time now for that, but I want you to write it down for yourself, to think about it, because that's what you're going to do when we finish here. You want to use high-value presentation to attract new clients, and especially in an economic situation where it's challenging, then people need a lot of trust before they take out their hard-earned money to spend with you. And one of the best and fastest ways to create this trust is by being present with people, and high-value presentation allows you to do that in a method which is much more effective and much more leveraged than do that one-on-one. Okay? Because if you can stand in front of 10 people in a restaurant, or you can stand in front of 40 people in a seminar room, or you can stand in front of 2,000 people in a business bootcamp, then it's a very good use of your time, and you build up a lot of trust as long as you're delivering high value, okay, which we're going to talk about it now. So I found out that it's one of the fastest, best way to get prospects to trust you, and then to become paying clients. If you've been with us in trainings, you saw exactly how it works. It happens because of there's high value presentation. It's not just that they start to trust you, and they are also seeing you as the authority. That's what happens as soon as you're standing in front of people. It can be sitting in front of a group of people in a restaurant, but you're the one that speaks. You're the center of attention. You immediately they put you in a position of an authority, which is the best positioning you can have. Of course, it's not a one-on-one marketing, which is a big advantage might be for you if you were doing most of your marketing or sales so far one-on-one. So now you have one-to-many, and it's what we call a pull marketing. It's not a push marketing, it's a pull marketing, which means only people that already came into your room or came to the room to listen to you are going to hear what you actually have to offer them, and they are qualified. They pre-qualify them by showing up into the room. When somebody comes all the way to listen to me, for example, in the business bootcamp, I know that they have interest in business, marketing, etc., what we're teaching. So when I'm offering the next level, then they are at least open for that. If I would do that in any other way, I will not get the same qualified prospects. So that's very, very important. So here are 5 ways how you can deliver more value in your high value presentation. Okay, 5 ways. First of all, it's important, know your stuff. Okay, know your stuff. Make sure that you know what you're talking about. In a way, when you're standing in a group, you need to know about your topic more than any one of them. Okay, you don't need to know more than any expert in the world, but you need to know more than those people that are sitting in your room. This is important. And if you're not, two things are going to happen. If they are on the same level, or some of them are higher level than you, then you will feel insecure, embarrassed, worried. What happens if they will say something, or they will judge me for that, or whatever. So you're not going to be at your best. But the other thing that can happen, they will ask questions, and there will be a question that you will not know what to answer, and that can kill your presentation faster than anything else. So you might have given a great presentation because you researched it, and then somebody asks you a question that you don't know the answer, and you look like an idiot. So make sure that you know your stuff. You don't need to be the world expert, but you need to know more than those people that are sitting in the room. That's the first thing, know your stuff. The second thing, solve a problem. That's what I tried to mention before about value. I don't want you to talk about theories. I want to tell them about the news. It's okay. But what you want is to solve them a problem. People are spending their valuable time with you because they have a question, or they have a problem, and they hope that you can actually, take them at least one step further in that, and that's what you're supposed to do. So give them an answer to that question, or give them a solution, or at the beginning of a solution to the problem. Make sure that by giving them, they will know that they actually, got value for the investment, because the fact that the presentation is for free, which most cases it will be, doesn't mean anything. They invested something which is much more expensive for them than money, and that's their time. Okay? They might have driven to your place, or they might have, took an hour to listen to you, and plus half an hour to come to you and go back home. This is a huge investment for most people, so you better, give them a high return on investment. So when you do whatever you can to relieve some of their pain, answer some of the question, whatever you can do in order to solve their problem. So that's number two. The third one, we mentioned that before, just to emphasize, know your audience. Okay, you need to know who they are, you need to know what their needs and wants, and you need to address that. Okay, in a way, you need even to look that. If you're going to talk to a group of construction workers, and you're going to come with a three-piece suit and a tie, you're just telling them, I don't know who you are, I don't care who you are, etc. And it will be the other way around. You cannot go to a investment banker conference where everybody's three-piece suit and a tie, and you're coming with a t-shirt, shorts, and floppies, and tongs, how they say in Australia, the flip-flops. So, it might be perfect for one target audience, but not perfect for the other one. So make sure that you know who they are. Do a little bit of research of them if you don't know them personally. I know my target audience very well, so I know what their issues, because I was there, and I was part of that group for so long in my life. But if you're not sure, then do the research on them. If you can survey them before the event and ask them some question, what are the issues that are burning right now for you, and you can tailor that into your presentations, even better. We do that a lot. Okay, we do a lot of surveys before events, especially new events, so we can tailor them to the target audience exactly what they need and want. Very, very important. I say it's not a glorified sales pitch, but there needs to be some kind of sales pitch at the end. So my suggestion is that you will always have a next step of low cost, low risk. So something that is not going to cost them a lot, is not going to take too much risk for them, but it will be a next step, something for them to do. So if you enjoy that, you're going to love this. Okay, something which is the next step. And the next step allows them actually, basically, when you sell them or promote for them, the next step, basically they tried you out, they saw that you're good, and now they are ready to do something further, to take something further. Make sure that you limit the offer. You don't want to make it, just check it on the website, and whenever you feel like it, buy it. No, you always want to make it limited. It makes sure that it creates a sense of urgency, and people will actually take action on that. If you give them time, people don't take action. You give them less time, they take action. It's good for them, it's good for you. So it's a win-win, something important. One thing that you don't have to worry about is that, in my opinion, I get it a lot as a question from people, is how much should I share for free? Because then people, if I share too much, people might not buy from me what I have to offer. And I wouldn't worry about that. Just give them as much as you can. Okay, people will appreciate it, and people will know that if you give so much for free, how much can you give for when it's paid? And that's basically how we sell all our trainings. You come to the business bootcamp, you get everything I have that I can give in 2 days. There's no 1 minute spent. Lots and lots and lots and lots of value. And nobody came to me ever and says, listen, I don't take the next trainings because I got everything I needed. People understand that they need more, but now they got so much value. They say to themselves, wow, I got all this for free. What will I get when he charged me 4,000 euros for 3 days? Okay? So part number 5, the last one, is my suggestion is to partner with non-competing professionals to do events together, to do educational events or high-value presentations together. So basically what you do is you find other non-competing professionals that are targeting the same target audience, but you're coming from different angles or delivering different services. So for example, you might be a tax lawyer and you want to connect with an accountant and give an educational day or event for small business owners, teaching them something like, I don't know, the 10 strategies to reduce your taxes during economical crisis, for example. Okay? So you're giving an event together, each one of you from its own perspective, and you deliver more value to them in that specific event. Another example can be a management coach and a personal trainer might give the 5 things that you can do every day in order to keep in top shape mentally and physically, like a top athlete. Okay, so each one of you give your expertise to the same target audience. Okay, what happens then is that a cooperation like that allows you to share the expenses, so the costs are going down for the event. You combine the power of your mailing list, so your mailing list and the other person's mailing list, you can communicate to both of them, and of course you leverage different point of view for the same topic. So that's an idea. You don't have to do that, but it makes everything easier at the beginning. That's what I wanted to share about high-value presentation for now. And your assignment, first of all, is to figure out what can you share about. What will be the topic? You can use the topics that we talked before, for the PDF incentive and maybe for the video incentive, etc. Or you can create something new, but have a couple of topics that will be very exciting. The 5 mistakes people make and the 7 things you need to know and all this. This is easy to people understand, and it delivers tons of value for them when they are qualified for that. And so that's the first thing you need to do, which that shouldn't take too long, but I want you to do that today, right now, when we're saying goodbye. And the other thing is I want you to start planning your first presentation. Where are you going to give it? When are you going to give it? Who do you need to contact in order to make it? What will be the main content? Start building it up, okay? I'm not going to go back to that topic from now, so you will need to find out the right time, the right moment for that. Sometimes it takes time to organize, so I'm letting you, start working on that. But the idea is that you will give your first presentation if you never gave before, or the next presentation will be something based on the principles that I'm sharing with you right now, and see how that can grow your business. This is our main tool. It was always our main tool, and that's how we became very big, very successful, very fast. So that was about high-value presentation. Hope you benefited from that. Hope you enjoyed that. I would love to know from you in the comment box below if you have any questions, remarks, comments, suggestions, ideas, etc. And until we meet again, to your success.